Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Play the Hits. We're taking a vacation from our staycation to follow up with some Ocarina of Time. How you doing, Max?
A vacation into kind of a nightmare here, but I'm doing pretty good tonight. How you doing?
Not too shabby. Oh, better than these wolves are about to be. Oh yeah. Did I already kill these guys?
Yeah, we got to the point of kind of I think the crooked corridor maybe. We're pushing blocks around.
Yeah, we were doing something.
I don't know if you killed the first Poe. I don't know if you got that far.
No, I think we got into like that open courtyard area.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get back there pretty quickly.
Look at this fucking. There we go.
I can't believe the time we wasted being like, we don't get the hook shot before this temple. I completely forgot about that.
That was kind of a disgrace. I mean, not quite as disgraceful as Mario Sunshine, but
hey, that gives this channel a very all natural feel. You know, we're not really looking stuff up before we just kind of like fly by the seat of our pants. Yeah, we remember this fucking game. We played it like 5 times.
Like a supermodel that don't shave their pubes. You know, we're all natural, baby.
Oh my god. No, we definitely got farther than this.
Yeah. No, actually, I think this is about where we called it, because we opened up the courtyard and then.
Oh, was this locked before or something?
Well, we hadn't gotten. It was locked in the sense that we haven't been here yet.
Oh, I thought you basically saw the 4 ghosts fucking disappear, and then you like the first path is basically moving a bunch of blocks like one direction or something. Yeah. We'll find out.
So the fucking Octoroks are like the worst goddamn enemies in Breath of the Wild. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, well, first of all, their aim is like, whoa. I really thought you were into the ground there.
Right.
Their aim is like, somehow they know where you're going to be. It's just like, you stupid thing. I'm just gonna run. What the fuck?
And then like you try to engage them and they just become even more obnoxious.
Yeah. But they're the things that are like, they're kind of finding inventive ways to kill them was kind of fun. It was just like, oh, I got like a bunch of shock arrows now, so I'm just gonna. But you know, well, the ones in the water at least. You know, you have the freaking guys hiding in the bushes, which sucked. They were pretty annoying. Did you ever use the balloons in that game to much effect? I know some people did crazy things with them.
No, I know that you can like break the game with them though.
Yeah. I saw a lot of things, like, I never used the Korok leaf either. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I never used, even with the ships, I would just kind of like use the what do you call that? Chrystasis. The
chrysanthemums.
Making the pillars in the water, basically. Well, he just like limped away from you for a while.
He really wanted to fucking live. Come on, Larry, today's your day. You can fucking do it. You ain't gonna let anybody tell you how to live your life. From now on, it's coming up, Larry.
Compass?
Map. Hey, that's actually really helpful.
All right, map is good. Yeah, in this place too.
You know, there's some Zelda games where like the map serves varying degrees of usefulness, and this one it's quite necessary.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like that early 3D.
I feel like. And you know me, there's actually a lot of Zelda games I haven't played through, which I think, what do you call it? Link Between Worlds has to be my next one. But
that's a good choice.
You know, I've sampled it, and the dungeons have the different levels. I think the map is like essential there.
Yeah, the Link Between Worlds, I will say the dungeons were like so well designed and like so memorable that like you'll only kind of consult the map when you're like in completionist mode. Wow, yeah. Dude, I fucking suck.
All right, now if I had to play a game first and I had equal access to both of them, should I play Link Between Worlds or Minish Cap?
Ooh, that's a good question. They're both really good in different ways. Link Between Worlds is a bit more open-ended, as you well know. Minish Cap, just kind of like, that was like the sweet spot for the GBA. It had like so many like nooks and crannies to explore. I would say that if you're in like more of like a hardcore completionist feel, definitely do Minish Cap, because there are like tons upon tons, like more so than Link to the Past, just like random things to uncover. Now Link Between Worlds, however, is going to give you like the nostalgia tickles, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's probably I don't know. It's got some of my favorite dungeons in a 2D Zelda. Period. Though that being said, it's almost criminally easy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
is it like money will kind of get you whatever you need, kind of thing, or
nothing can kill you, basically? I mean,
okay.
like at the start of the game where you have 3 hearts, yeah, enemies will occasionally, get you down into danger, but other than that, not really. Is there anything else in here? I don't.
Yeah,
think so.
I do kind of like. I mean, like when I was playing the what was it? What the fuck? Link's Awakening on the Switch. I was kind of like pleasantly surprised. It's like, oh yeah, like the beginning of this game, I remember is kind of hard. It does definitely get easier.
Yeah.
As you get more health. And then this had the color tunic.
I like how he just gets a free hit. Oh my god, dude. There we go.
There we go.
Why are those fuckers so hard to kill?
They're
yeah,
fucking stubborn.
Link Between Worlds was so easy that it was probably one of the only games where I actually did go through it a second time on hard mode and still found it easy.
Yeah. Isn't there like a heroes mode or something in that game? Where I don't know if it's one hit you're dead, or is it just like hard mode?
No, I don't think it's anything that challenging. It's just hard mode. Was I not blocking? I mean, did I miss something?
Also,
there?
I didn't even hear your how many hearts did that just take from you? I didn't even hear you in danger.
Not many, but I really was not. I mean, I was absolutely blocking.
Ooh.
Come get it, freak.
Yeah, like as an adult, this is the first time they really they did like the little lizards in the Dodongo's cavern. That was about it. Now they're throwing like legit, sword fights at you.
Sorta, yeah. Or like as close as they get in this game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing crazy, but
no. Wow, and apparently I just suck. There he goes. Wow, that could have ended very badly. Anyway, speaking of ending badly, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think so.
So, what were your thoughts at the end of the day now that you've beaten
it took
FF7?
long enough, right? Okay, here's the thing. FF7 Remake.
Give me the thing.
I love everything about the game. Except the story.
Yep. Which is weird because, ideally, it should have been a story that was kind of like going home again, which at the beginning of the game it was.
It definitely was. And there was changes and there was like updates, but it was like, I like this. It's like they still got humor there. There's a lot of things they kind of added that was like adding to the humor, like
so like in the beginning of the game,
stuff.
The additions I was actually mostly on board with, except for like like I said, they kind of ruined a couple of scenes. Aerith's introduction was completely marginalized and devoid of its impact because the stupid whispers showed up and
the whispers
just took over that scene
since the beginning.
And that was kind of like the running theme of that game. Like every time something familiar showed up, like you had Aerith's meeting, you had it again in the church, you had some like weirdness in Sector 7 as they were getting ready to go to the Mako reactor. It's almost like the game like refused to be in any way like subtle or like to have a deliberately paced plot. Like you had to have the whispers there and everything had to be a world-ending crisis. And I was kind of thinking to myself like, why can't I just get on board the train, or why can't the Turks be enough of a threat that I need to jump out of the roof of Aeris's church? Like, why in the world do the whispers have to show up and like, splooge all over these like
it's almost like they take away from what the old scene was. It's like if you're adding the whispers and how they end up being that big of a threat, you gotta like change the whole game. And
that brings you to the final chapter,
which is true. But then it's also like, what is fucking Shinra then? What is like
Nothing.
Any of these threats? Like Rufus comes in and does all this cool shit and stuff, but it's just
they
like,
might
what
as
the fuck
well
is this guy?
They might as well have not even had Rufus.
As cool as he was.
Yeah, I mean he was fine, but like there was so much other shit going on that like, if you didn't play the original, like I'm trying to see this like in the context of like someone who had never played FF7 before, and like for all they know, the Whispers were part of the original game. Like, you know, you've got Sephiroth showing up in the first act, and like, oh my god, here's this like badass sword wielding villain. He's like the most dangerous motherfucker alive. Oh, but you've also got these Whispers, these like unknowable gods and ghosts of the ether. But then you've got fucking Rufus showing up, just punking his dad's corpse and flying away in a helicopter, like some kind of fucking reject from Die Hard. And you're like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? And that's the problem. In the new FF7 canon, it doesn't have shit to do with anything because you're busy thinking about the stupid Whispers and the goddamn crisis for the universe that gets unveiled in the first act. Like, there's no
It's almost
pacing,
like they felt they had
no
to keep
deliberacy.
it there
There's
because
just,
of the old game.
Yeah, right? Like, if you're gonna throw the plot out the window like that, why even tantalize me with the original plot? Like, why not just call this, like, FF7, you know, rethought out, you know?
Yeah. Like a total... And
whatever.
that's what we're talking about the word remake, is it's just like, technically this is a remake. This is what remake technically means, but it's never meant this before.
No.
You know, it's just like, oh, we're gonna maybe reimagine some things here and there, but this is like, it's almost like, I don't want to say betrayal, but it's just like, yeah, it's the same game
like
you imagine, but a
end.
modern retelling, and it's like, no, it is a different game that can like not replace the old game story in any way. Like,
right, which
totally
you know,
different story.
if they had been forthright with that, I'm not sure I would have minded it as much. But the fact is, like I said, they dangle like the story that you know and love, and the characters who you're already emotionally invested in and attached to, and all that. They dangle that in front of you for a solid like 30 hours before they're like, oh hey, by the way, this isn't what you love, and remember, this is just some batshit bonkers Kingdom Hearts ripoff that we really thought people wanted for some reason.
And I think you're right, is that they did that on purpose for the old fans to kind of be like, yeah, buy this game. It's what you remember.
Well, see,
the new fans would have bought it
anyway. They could have tossed some twists in there and like new stuff for old fans well without doing what they did. And in such like a lazy and contrived way, like how many times have JRPG protagonists defied the gods and fought fate? What was kind of nice about FF7 was that it was actually kind of a novel threat that you were facing, you know?
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, like how many other games have the symbolism and the imagery of a meteor crashing down to Earth? I mean, that's cool shit. But
I mean,
now,
as far
like,
as world-ending threats, they're there. But you're right. Like what you're actually fighting was very different in this game. It's basically a first-class, I guess, soldier you'd call it, controlling an ancient alien like around the world. It's just like, wait, what the fuck? Like, it's still weird, but it's awesome.
And at the same time, though, like now, like assuming that in the second game, you know, like. The second part climaxes with meteors showing up or something, or everything. Like, I'm not sure how much of that even matters now, and like this new, like anything goes, and like characters who are dead can be alive again, and I'm sorry, like Zack was a fine character, but fuck Zack. Like Zack shouldn't be there. Like the whole reason Cloud is an intriguing character is because of Zack's sacrifice. So you remove
if he's
remove
alive,
that sacrifice, like there's no point in even having Cloud.
It seems weird. It's just like, this is a little dramatic, Cloud, that you're gonna take on this persona.
Oh, I gotta kill them both fast, I see.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, in the original game, it made sense. It was just like, this was like a traumatic experience for Cloud, you know? And he kind of like coped in any way he could in that moment, you know?
Right,
He just on what he
lost
idolized.
his mind and stole his friend's sword and started calling himself a mercenary because that's what Zack would have done.
I guess we don't really know, like, is this a different timeline you see at the end of the game? Is this like what actually happened and Zack is still alive?
So let's like assume the best case scenario, and it's like, okay, so in this parallel universe, Zack lived, but that's a story for another time, you know? And in this one, it's all about Cloud. Well, then why the fuck even show it? And like, again, like, I don't mean to sound like a spoiled kid or anything, but the game, the theme of FF7 is about sacrifice and redemption, right? Like, so Cloud wouldn't be who he was without
definitely
Zack.
sacrificed.
The world wouldn't be what it is without Aeris sacrificing herself. But like, if they're trying to say, okay, well, we can just sweep all that under a rug because, you know, they've defied the fates, so maybe in some universe Zack does live and Aeris does live and they find each other. I actually don't give a fuck because the story was made more beautiful by these characters giving themselves up. Like, that's kind of a big deal.
I feel like the only way they can go now is starting from the second game. It has to be completely different.
Yeah,
if they try to keep going, then it's just like, well, this kind of doesn't make sense. It's kind of like they're getting, if they keep going with the same story, it's like, wow, they're just getting everything they want.
Yeah.
Like, without any sacrifice.
Right. And that's right. So when the central theme of your game is sacrifice, maybe you shouldn't cut out the sacrifices.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no narrative literary genius here or anything, but you know, it's kind of like in like the second grade where you have to write short stories for class, and it's like escape from the blue planet, the hero's ship ran out of gas and they had to explore the blue planet, but then they remembered they had some gas and they escaped the blue planet. They all lived
happily ever after.
Yeah, right, like that's what this feels like. And I am just so mad that, like, everything that I thought could have gone wrong with that game absolutely went wrong. And it's made...
What we were talking about, and it's like, oh, I hope this isn't what we think it is.
And it was,
and it totally fucking was.
And the worst part of it was, though, like, what made it even worse is that they really pulled their punches until the final chapter. Like, they kind of kept you on pins and needles. Like, hey, no, we get FF7. We know what FF7 was about. We get why you loved FF7. By the way, fuck FF7.
the Watchers of Fate, or whatever the fuck they're called, were always like, okay, this is really if they weren't in the game, like, this is pretty much perfect. Like, this is perfect.
It was so good.
But it was like, maybe they're gonna redeem themselves. Maybe it's gonna be something I'm not expecting. But it was like, it only got worse.
And they're what ruined the story, really. The reason that I'm so upset about it, like, as it stands, is because there's really, like, I can't... It's kind of like the thing with the world map, you know, just like they can't have, like, an overworld in the traditional sense, which is gonna make the layout of the next chapter kind of funky and more streamlined and linear.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're gonna do that.
By that same token, they really, like, they can't possibly course correct on this story. And I don't, which is fine, because I don't think they have any intention of doing it. I think they're all in with the Whispers of Fate, and, you know, is Zack alive, or is he gonna kind of just shadow the party now? Or, like, I'll probably check out the next one just to see what all they did to it, but at the same time, like, this will never be the definitive FF7. Like, that's been done. And what's really frustrating is that it could have been.
Yeah, and it's not like they're going to do another one, like they're rebooting Star Wars. Yeah, okay, cool. They're not going to, like, okay, let's do the real FF7 remake.
Yeah, let's do the FF7 remake that's just for fans of the original. Though you're absolutely right. They cannot do that financially or any other way.
I'll try to appreciate it for what it is, but they didn't really advertise it that this is going to be a completely new thing with these characters.
Right.
Like a complete reimagining. It was very much like, this is the game you know and love with a few twists.
Yeah.
You know, which you can definitely do.
Which I was totally on board for. I would have like, for instance, I kind of enjoyed, even though it was a little overly drawn out, I enjoyed, like, the new twist on, like, the train graveyard and, you know, even, like, some of the things that, like, purists might consider, like, heretical, like the way that they redid the Corneo sequence. I thought it was kind of cool. It was flashy and over the top, but that's just, you know, kind of new Square Enix as opposed to old Square Enix. Flashy and over the top. And that's, you know, love it or hate it, it is the direction they've gone. And it was still, like, really cool. I enjoyed the Underground Coliseum. I enjoyed the dance sequence, as hokey as that was. But, you know, it felt in spirit with FF7 because the original was so hokey too. So that was fine.
You say flashy and over the top, which is true, but it's also like, to see these characters and to, like, you know, you imagined what was kind of going on, filling in the blanks as a kid, and now to see it almost, like, fully realized, and slightly different, but it's like, this is really cool to have like the announcer in this Coliseum.
Yeah, and like Corneo's entourage, Madame
names.
M, and they're all kind of just like secretly pissed off with him and want him to go away. And so they're
Yeah,
working
I'm like, this
against
is
him.
cool. I was all for that, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same boat, you know?
Yep.
As far as like adding content where it definitely just felt like they're taking a scene from the old game and just artificially extending it, like, let's turn these big lamps on. Like, it was like, okay, whatever. A lot of games have filler, and that definitely felt like filler.
I could see why they had to do that, because you weren't going to get 40 hours out of Midgar any other way.
No, that's true.
So they had to they basically turned what were kind of like little side portions of the story, and they made them into like full-blown dungeons. And
like
on
maybe
that
this
topic,
little puzzle.
Yeah.
Like now it's a whole, like the train graveyard was like a very slight puzzle.
Yeah.
But you're right, with that, there was a couple things, like that was a whole new story, and I was all for it, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Lended a little bit of depth to Marlene. It kind of showed that she had some loss and gave some more background on Eris's childhood. It was nice.
Yeah. And then the first side quest with Avalanche, where you go to...
dude.
That was the best side quest of the game.
It was.
Roach was like a one and done thing, which is weird.
Actually, I wouldn't have had him any other way, really.
That's true. But I loved that, and it made me excited for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
you know,
because like what else did they add? You know, like I would have loved to see, you know, instead of the whispers and the whole Guardians of Fate thing, I would have loved like more of like the Shinra bits, like inside the operations of Shinra, and like, you know, maybe like Heidegger fucks with you a little bit while you're there, or like each of President Shinra's goons like kind of gets a turn to try to take you down. Palmer and Scarlet.
I would have been
been
fine with that.
Yeah.
And I loved how they were portrayed too.
Yeah,
it's
they were good.
Again, a shame that Shinra, as much work as they seemingly put into it, by the time you actually got there, the Whispers were running the show, and it's just like, well, who are these guys then?
Yeah,
how are they even going to feel like
a non-entity at this point? Which is funny because they still do harass you for a good portion of the game. Like they're not quite as dramatic and overblown as they were at the start of the game, but you know, the submarine sequence and the rocket and all that's all Shinra. And now it's like, does any of that stuff count for anything when like Sephiroth has already given the plot away, and Cloud's having visions of the future, and Eris may not be like the character you remember her being, and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It like
can I say something else that kind of, I mean, the Whispers are by far the biggest thing, and how they kind of screwed the pooch at the end. But there was something that kind of bothered me the whole game. Again, I love pretty much everything, like the fighting system, I love. I love the kind of depth of combat for the most part. But something that kind of got me was that in the original game, it really felt, I guess, like most of the old Final Fantasies do, that like you rise up, you take on this conglomerate that's bent on like pillaging the world,
right?
And then you end up taking on like a world-ending
like
entity, basically, and then the remake, it's like, okay, kind of the same story in the beginning, but it did not feel organic like that. It felt like you were always having the red carpet rolled out for you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we want you to come here. Oh, you know what? You didn't do it. We're just going to blame this on you. Well, we're going to help you out with the explosion, you know? And even when you got to Shinra, it was basically you were being helped so much. It only got worse. It only got worse at the end of the game.
Before even like the whole bit with the Whispers was revealed for what it was, like I was already kind of falling out of love because of how they handled the Shinra building.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first part was fine, like where you were ascending the Shinra building, but But Hojo's like weird little like circus lab at the end, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
What do I do?
It was so much more dramatic.
There we go.
It was so much more dramatic in the original game, where you like woke up out of prison, and it was just like out of a horror game. Like, whoa, what the fuck?
I know,
like,
and
blood
they
trail,
and
then it was like ectoplasm. At first, they took out the prison scene, which sucked. And then it was just like, oh, let's follow the ectoplasm goo. And then they went right back to Hojo.
I know.
When you already knew, like, the building should have been evacuated, like, on fucking lockdown.
Like,
and instead it's just like, here's Hojo again.
Sephiroth didn't show up in the middle of the night and massacre everybody and, like, leave you to follow the trail, which would have been awesome to see with this graphic engine.
Oh my god, right? I was hoping for that. I hate that.
Can
they
you
took
imagine
that
like
out.
how atmospheric that could have been and like how dark? Like you're following like blood smeared walls and it's like dark, the lights are going out and like that could have been almost like horror in a Final Fantasy game. And instead we got like that stupid excuse for a final dungeon where it's just like this gauntlet of like low-level enemies that like are just annoying because, you know, it's clearly filler, like meant to stand in between you and like the story. Like it was like that should have been where the plot was picking up. Instead it ground to a halt.
It did. Exactly. Hojo's thing just like slowed you the fuck down. And I'm like, wait a second. I thought we were rolling now, like to the end game, and it just like
and you know, it wasn't like a difficult or overly complex final dungeon. But do you know how long it took me to beat?
What, like 3 hours?
No, like 4 days. Like not like 4 days running continuously, but like I would just play it for a little bit and I would get bored and turn it off for a little bit because like I was so disappointed that they cut out one of my favorite scenes in the entire game and for seemingly no reason other than like we need like a big like, you know, gauntlet or combat kind of finale, which again they kind of gave you on the highway. So what the hell was the point of Hojo's lab? That was just a dumb decision from a narrative and gameplay perspective.
They put Sephiroth in the wrong spot.
Oh,
like
for
with
God's sake,
dragging Jenova out. Yeah. That should have been near the end, but.
Yep. Instead, he shows up right at the beginning. He cuts down the bridge, and then you spend the next 4 hours just getting across that goddamn bridge. That was just ugh.
I feel like you had your, aside from the red carpet being rolled out, you had your ass saved multiple times, and it's like these things are trying to like keep you on the course of fate, you know. So if something happened, like where's the threat in the entire game then? If like literally Barrett died and then he didn't, like, oh actually this was never supposed to happen, like that. What does death even mean?
I'm not sure I would have been on board with that, but at the very least it would have been something like legit shocking to have them kill Barrett, you know. But like again, it's almost as though Sephiroth just shows up to like wink at the camera and be like, there are no stakes here. You know?
Really? Like seriously, before you decided to fight fate in the last part of chapter 18, where was the danger in 99% of the game? Like even on the highway when like stuff is falling, like the little whispers prevent stuff from falling on your head. It's just like, okay, so would this have happened the whole game? Like, because we weren't supposed to die originally, like if all this is like going to their plan. So I just can't see where the danger was, you know.
I know. It was
I like the theme of fighting fate in a Final Fantasy game. It's been done a lot. Final Fantasy VII wasn't really like that, but it's like, okay, it fits Final Fantasy. But then why are you going to do a remake where fate is just the script of the original game? Like,
yeah, right? And like you have to justify taking like dramatic and creative license. Like for one thing you don't, but for another thing, if you're gonna do it, like don't do it in such a way that it feels like you're just going against the grain for the sake of going against the grain. Like you knew what fans of the original wanted out of this, and was it probably like contrived and like, you know, didn't let you exercise your creative muscle? Yeah, but that's a fan base. Like it's exactly why people get pissed off about Star Wars. They have a definition of their mind already of what Star Wars is and what it ought to be. So, you know, for better or worse, if you want to make money on that franchise, probably don't deviate from that too much. Now, if you want to do something cool and new in space, then make a cool new space franchise, you know? It doesn't have to be Star Wars. And likewise, like if they wanted to do a game about like a world-ending catastrophe and like the hands of fate are moving your party, that's fine. It didn't have to be FF7 though.
Yeah.
You know, like just make a new game. I might have been on board for some of that in a different context, but like this felt crowded and convoluted and contrived and some other C words and just
it's like you say like you're gonna piss off some of the fan base no matter what. That's just gonna happen. You can't make everyone happy. But kind of like Star Wars as well, it's like, yeah, but you're doing like the exact things that are going to make almost no one happy.
Right. Like,
I actually have a friend who liked this, but
it's almost like they're aware of it too.
Yeah, right. not like they're trying to piss us off, but kind of like, well, this is our vision, and
Right.
not like they have to compromise, but it's almost like fuck your feelings.
Yeah, right. Like we know what you like about FF7, and we're not going to do it. You know. So like overall, like it's probably the weirdest game I've ever played. And I'm serious
I feel that.
because going back to what you said at the beginning, I like everything about the game. Like all of the individual elements, like don't add up to the sum of their parts. It's got beautiful graphics, great gameplay, good voice actors, good translation. And you know, it has some unique and kind of cool new ideas. But the story, where they leave the story, is just a hot mess. You know, it's just
It really is.
oof. And
Like
I'm
you said,
so
if this was a new
pissed about it.
game with the same system, it'd be like, oh, this is cool. This is just a better Kingdom Hearts. This is
Right.
what Kingdom Hearts should have been, basically.
But I don't want what Kingdom Hearts should have been. I want what FF7 ought to have been.
Yeah, it fits for FF7. You know, if they nailed the story, I think it would have been pretty much perfect. Okay, it's not all in one game, but it's kind of like you're telling with modern technology, you're telling a bigger story now, and you're kind of seeing more of Midgar, so it's like cool. But it's they really screwed the pooch on the story. They kind of knew what they were doing. It wasn't. I can't say what's easy or hard. Obviously, I'm not a game maker. I'm not a developer.
Sure.
But they kind of knew they could have made it a slam dunk. They had the power to do that.
Right.
And they spent a lot of time doing something completely different to, I don't know, think they're going to appease the fans who are like, don't you wish Aerith could live? And Zach, he's
like,
cool,
not
right?
really.
He played
Like,
all the games.
that's the thing. Like, when I was a kid, I can't recall how many hours I spent trying to revive Aerith. But, like, if they had actually put that in there, that would have been totally bogus. Like, it would have wrecked the
It
story.
would have felt cheap.
Yeah.
It would have been so cheap. It's like, like you said, such a big part of the game is sacrifice.
Yeah, do not undermine and undo the
Avalanche.
sacrifice.
Oh, and then Biggs being alive.
yeah,
What the
fuck that.
Jesus.
For no
Wedge,
reason.
Wedge was bad enough.
Yeah, I mean, but at least Wedge, I guess, you know, maybe in the context of the
It's
story, it makes a
contributing
little
to
bit
the
of
new
sense.
story.
Yeah, like what Wedge might have this kind of cool part in part 2 where he gets to, you know, shoot a rocket at a helicopter and say this was for Biggs and Jesse, you know?
Right?
But now Biggs is alive too, and
Biggs
why?
right at the end. It's just like a fuck you. Just like, yeah, we're gonna.
You know,
everyone
like how the weakest part of Final Fantasy IV's story is how everybody dies, and then for no reason at all comes back.
Comes back right at the Tower of Babel.
And don't get me wrong, I love FF4, but like for the Super NES, that was just kind of a safe way to play it. Like that's just where they were. But like the great thing about FF7 was like there were real consequences to your fight. Like the characters that died stayed dead.
Yeah,
not anymore.
And a lot of them from the beginning of the game. That was a central tenet of the game. Is people are gonna die. You know, they're undoing so much of that.
I know.
Well, I feel pretty confused about the ending. Well, I mean, yes, it kind of ripped my heart out a little bit, but it's also like, wait, what the fuck's going on? Like, not only like where are they gonna take it? Yes, that is one thing, but it's also like even in just this singular game, it almost seems like there are plot holes. Like, are you gonna reconcile this? Because I kind of feel like you're not.
No, and that's the thing. Like. That is the real downside of modern Square Enix. Not that they're overly flashy and like all about the graphics and like the action gameplay or whatever, but the fact that they cannot follow through on a story, like to save their lives. They, like everything that they've shown
development.
Yeah, everything that they've shown, like they can't stick to like a solid like 2-year development cycle. Because they have to have like a million different ideas for ways in which the story should go.
Starting with 13, you see it.
The only time that they ever do that well seems to be in like kind of their B games, like the Bravely Defaults and the or
even the
Dragon
Octopath.
Quest. Yeah,
you know what that is from the beginning, you know, and it is like a Live Alive or something like that.
They need to put their Dragon Quest XI team on the next Final Fantasy, I'm thinking, because it's
weird. They're AAAs. You're right. They can't follow through. It's almost like they're too big, you know, that there's too much going on. And because they're always beautiful games.
Yeah.
Most of the time, until this game, they were like their own proproprietary graphic systems and everything.
Seriously.
But then the story is just like with 13, it's almost like, okay, rush job right at the end. Well, what is even happening? Don't worry, the feelings are the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
like, what?
FF15, like Hey, we hope you weren't counting on anything that we've done or built up to this point mattering at the end of the game.
I hope you just forget all of those even the trailer that you saw 2 years before it came out. Just forget it. Just
oh
fucking
my
forget
god,
it. Like,
yeah. Or I don't know. And now we're getting into 15, which was its own problem.
Yeah, it's its own club. Okay, why did the planet feel threatened that Destiny wouldn't happen in the first place?
Who the hell knows or cares?
I have to think
Seriously.
maybe they could explain that in the next game that Sephiroth did something behind the scenes. That would at least kind of make sense. But it would also be kind of cheap that, he has the knowledge of the planet, so he knows the future now? What?
Right, and like, that's kind of like what they're trying to like lead you into, like with his whole with his whole weird like psychic premonition to Cloud, like the world has 7 seconds to live, and fuck that. God damn. Like I don't really like Sephiroth is already not my favorite villain in the series. Like I don't need him to be any more like over the top, unknowable, like ridiculous. Like he doesn't need to be like an all-knowing god, you know. He just needs to show up and like swing his sword at some shit. That's
one of Sephiroth's strengths was the mystery behind him. You did figure out everything eventually.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Ultimecia where there's still mystery after the game's over.
Yeah, like what the hell was she really? Yeah.
Yeah, right? Who was she? What the fuck? But Sephiroth, you figured it all out, but in the beginning, for most of the game, you're like, wait, what the hell's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
I don't like one, he showed up so early, but even for a new player, it could be like, okay, who is this guy?
Right.
But this game, he talks too much.
I know.
He talks too much.
Like all of the allure is gone from Sephiroth.
And he cares too much about Cloud.
I'm on the wrong fucking end, Max. Damn it.
He cares about Cloud way too much. You know?
Like Cloud was like a non-issue to him for most of FF7. Like he was just a way for him to get the black materia.
Yeah,
but now he's like, you're my only real rival, and we're gonna have a sword dance at the end of the universe, Cloud.
It's way too like dramatic and about these two. Like they were always
like he's got 40-something clones that are gonna follow him to the crater for the reunion, but all he really cares about is fucking Cloud. Like that's stupid, and it makes Cloud seem like even more of a Mary Sue.
Yeah, exactly, and that was part of the appeal. Again, going back to it felt organic that you rose up. That you came from almost nothing, came from the slums, and you saved the planet. Yep. You know, but in this game, it's like Cloud was always destined to do this.
I
he's
know.
Such an amazing character.
What a stupid and contrived contrivance. I mean, goddamn. Oh.
Yeah. It's and I think we kind of called it. We've been talking about this for a while.
I know, like the writing was there on the wall, but I really hoped that like someone in their storyboard team like had the good sense not to do it.
Yeah. I do the gameplay was welcome. I think it could have been worse, and maybe this is me just trying to see the silver lining, but I thought it was going to be, the story might really suck. It might really do something horrible and basically go against the central tenets of FF7, and it did.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, oh god, like how they show you switching so seamlessly between characters in that first trailer. It's not really going to be like that, and it was even better.
Yeah.
So,
the gameplay they really, through. You know, it's kind of weird because like of all the things I wasn't expecting, I don't think I was expecting at all to have like this be like the most fun Final Fantasy to actually play.
Neither was I.
Like, the combat system is good. Like, they finally found a way. Like, after all these years of doing Kingdom Hearts and FF15, they finally found a way to marry, like, the RPG mechanics of the Super Nintendo with, like, the more action-oriented systems that are kind of popular today. Like, it feels fast-paced and accessible, but there's some depth to it, and
there's more depth than I thought. Like as you keep playing the game, it's just you start figuring out more of the stagger. You start figuring out the material. Like I thought I had materia figured out pretty early.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm lost right now.
Oh, let's see. What's the fucking map say? You got to go to basement 2. Well, I guess keep going this way and see. And go to the.
Well, that's the thing. It
we go the right way?
There's an exit on the opposite end of. Yeah, but there's not. What am I missing? What am I forgetting? Oh, it's up there. How do I get up there? Or is that like a way that I come out from another door?
What does it look like?
Well, no, because I can't get there.
If you go,
okay, I have to go.
Back,
I have to go from above. Okay.
Okay.
I know what I gotta do. I think.
All right.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Keep bitching about this because I've been waiting for 3 months to get this off my chest.
Dude, I could bitch about this all day, like literally fucking all day. Like, what? Like, I feel like the planet again. That's a plot hole for me. It's just like. In the original game, it just happened. And in this game, it's just like, we got to make sure this happens. But this is seemingly the first time anyone has seen these fucking whispers.
Yeah,
so
right.
why is this like happening right now unless Sephiroth did something? And if they want things to stay the same, they basically ensured it wasn't going to by playing their hand so hard.
Yeah.
It's just like, we got to make this happen.
Yeah. The worst part of it is nothing that happens for the rest of the game is going to feel like a major reveal. For instance, like when you go to Cosmo Canyon and you learn about the life stream and all that stuff, like, well, yeah, the life stream is the lifeblood of the planet. It governs everything, and like we've got to save the planet and everything like that. And like that whole beautiful scene where you're in the planetarium and you're learning different things and stuff like that. Like none of that really matters because like now there's just the characters know there's like these unseen like guardians of fate that can just protect everything, and like I don't know, like I said, everything else in the FF7 lore now feels cheapened by the existence of these like strange gods, and I can't stand it. It just bothers the shit out of me. And again, that basically Sephiroth has given you an ultimatum after the first act. And that has to be the rest of the plot because it's so fucking urgent that there's no room for anything else.
What else would matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else would freaking matter?
Like, yeah, he might still summon the meteor, and that'll be cool to see in 3D and whatnot, but, I mean, whatever, ultimately.
Oh, really?
Because...
I can't even think of... Shinra would have much of a part to play anymore, other than like almost like an annoyance.
Yeah,
like,
right.
We're trying to save the planet here. Now you're getting in our way.
Yeah,
okay,
right. Like
Turks,
nothing Rufus and the Turks do is gonna feel like a threat. I mean, that's
no.
Okay, I know what I gotta do now. Yeah, it is a mess, and it really, really, really didn't have to be. And in fact, right up until the end, like you said, it wasn't. It was well done, and they crafted a fine game with some, slightly strange choices in places, but that was actually true of the original FF7 too. It was a great game with some weird choices thrown in there, but...
Yeah. That was kind of the appeal. There was a lot of appeal. It was just so different.
Yeah.
A lot of games did stuff similar afterwards, but from what we had before, it was just like, what the hell is going on with it? It wasn't just the modern setting and the swearing and stuff. Yeah. It was like, this is weird.
Yeah, it was a quirky, weird, goofy game, and it never took itself too seriously. And that's kind of the most jarring thing too, because you have a lot of that in FF7. You have those like parts where it really doesn't take itself too seriously in the remake. But then you throw that against the Whispers and Sephiroth, or I guess new Sephiroth, and boy, does that feel jarring. Like, is this game kind of a lighthearted romp, or is it, the end of days? Like,
the first few chapters, I loved the humor. Cool. I was not expecting this. Like, it's different. There's a lot of different things going on, different jokes, but I'm like, kind of feels like the spirit of FF7.
Yeah, like Barrett, for instance, is freaking hilarious when they get him on a roll. I mean, he's good.
And I was kind of thinking they would tone Barrett down a little bit, and they really didn't.
They went all in.
It's like, maybe they'll, I don't know if it's political correctness or they just think like, oh, this is too much. And aside from like randomly shooting ceilings to places, like, okay, I get that they took that out.
Yeah.
But he was like just as like in your face basically. And I was all for it. I'm like, shit, there's like, you realize that in the past 10 years, there has not been a character even close to Barrett.
Right.
And then they brought Barrett back. Yeah. And it was like, cool. They didn't subdue him.
No, not at all.
But you're right. It's like, as they got to the end, it's just like, oh, the world is freaking ending.
Right.
Like, once Midgar was like in a fucking wormhole and huge buildings were being thrown at you, I'm like, whoa, like they're blowing their whole load so early here. Like the beginning of the next game is gonna feel like like, what's going on? It's so calm now, you know?
It was... it's like...
Oh,
again,
is there a torch in here?
I am not a game director. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, like, I just feel like I know enough about narrative and plot structure to know that this doesn't work. I mean, there's too much of it, and too little of it gets proper development. And you've taken established characters, and you're not giving them any room to breathe, even in new directions, because you're just tossing so much into the first act. It's just
you're building up Shinra. You're building up the executives in this different way, and then you're right. It all just like they're caught. Right. You know, like, wait, what the fuck's going on here? They're just as clueless and powerless
you think like the characters that took down the gods of the world are going to be threatened by, you know, Heidegger's latest battle tank? I mean, that's
right.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, and Aerith, just like Sephiroth, Aerith knows something. Like...
I know. And did you? So I made the comment to you a while back that, like, I kind of got the feeling weirdly that you couldn't really trust Aerith. Yeah. And I still kind of get that. She's kind of floaty, and like she's it's like you said, she knows more than she's letting on, clearly. But like, to what end is she doing all this stuff? And I don't know.
She was like, I mean, I'm interested in a weird way, but it was just so weird hearing this like end of the game speech from her that I was like, it's not like this has to come from Cloud, but this is like main character stuff, and it's like, is Aerith the main character now?
Right.
And are they gonna kill the pseudo main character off? No. Like, it was a little weird that right at this part of the game, I mean, I know Calm, once you get to Calm, then it is kind of like, okay, who the fuck is the Sephiroth person? Right. Like, this is a whole new threat. But this was just like, he is the most dangerous person on the planet, and coming from Aerith, it's like, what do you know? Like,
well, he killed me in the first time we went around. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, I feel like she's hiding, like she knows.
If that's what it is, I'll actually be even more pissed off, because I hate that. Like, the idea of one character, like, knowing everything that's going to happen and, like, kind of guiding you through it and never really giving you satisfactory answers. That's...
Yup. And, dude, I bet that's what it is, because that's what this game seems to be doing about everything. It's another... Whoa.
Yeah. Didn't see
it's another aspect of rolling out the red carpet. It's just like, do these things that you need to do, that I'm telling you to do, in this order and in this kind of formula, and then you do it, and cool, everything's fine now.
Right.
It's not you. You know, they talk about fighting fate, but it's almost like you're doing exactly what. In a way, to fight fate, you're doing this one other thing.
Yeah.
I
am really, like, at the end, and it breaks my heart to say this because it was so close to perfect
for most of the game.
Yeah, but I'm really
the whispers
not
were always a headache, but it was like, hey, we'll see.
And
the rest of the game was awesome.
And you know, the weirdest part of it is that, like, since beating it, I've actually put it back in my PS4 a few times, just to play, like, some of the parts that are familiar, and some of the parts that were done really well in a kind of a cool new way. So yeah.
I don't know how you're really good at, like, talking and doing this fucking game at the same time. I notice when I am at the helm, I cannot do something like this and still talk. I'm like, okay, shut up now.
I think I screwed it up, actually.
I mean, you got isn't that the head? You still got 30 seconds.
Let's see here. I think that piece there on the left is just a red herring.
That is arm? Oh, really?
I think. Ah, shit. Too little, too late, I think.
You weak ass. Oh, you're almost there.
Oh!
Did you push it too far? Oh, no! Link!
Come on, Link. Nope, didn't make it.
Oh, my God. You were like
sucks.
One push away.
Oh, no!
Oh, they give you 10 more seconds each time?
Yeah. Clearly, you suck. We're sorry.
This is a cool little puzzle for 1998, though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it goes a little slow.
Yeah. There we go. I don't know. Nintendo had a way of kind of like surprising you.
Yeah.
This game kept doing it, and these days it's like, yeah, whatever. But I remember just being like, holy shit, this is what a cool use of 3D, you know, as a kid.
Like, oh my god.
I remember
So
the first time playing
complicated.
Mario Galaxy, and just being like, holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Like when you'd fall off the planet, but then you would just whoop back to the other side. It was like, what?
Kind of a cool thing, wasn't it?
It was.
For, someone who hasn't really played Galaxy properly.
Dude.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now he wants to fight. This might be a little bit of an extended episode, because there's still one more of these guys.
Oh yeah, it's like number 3, huh?
Mm-hmm. Because I completely lost track of what I was supposed to be doing there for a little bit. I did
Yeah,
not
but
remember where
even-
that locked door was.
Even going through these pretty quickly, I feel like most of these dungeons as an adult are
Mhm.
kind of long. They're definitely longer than
They are,
longer
yeah.
than the kid ones. I mean, I feel like Jabu Jabu, I would get lost sometimes, and it would end up being long.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really. If you knew what you were doing, none of the ones as a kid were that long.
No.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's the
these
weird
could be
thing. I
like water
should
tumbles
know
with
what
a
I'm doing
slog.
here, but you're right. I
Water-
think these feel longer as an adult. For one thing, you and I are playing this in hour-long snippets.
Yeah.
So there's that part of it too. There's kind of like the pressure to like wrap everything up tidily per episode, but
Yeah,
then also
and
it's
this won't
just
happen
like
for some.
you just
I
don't
think
have as
about the
much
Spirit
time.
Temple.
You don't have as much
Oh, go
time
ahead.
as you did when you were a kid. So,
Yeah, that's true.
oh shit, whoopsie.
I think about the Spirit Temple. Like, you got to visit that at least 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think we could do that in an episode. Going
No,
there as
that's
a
gonna be
kid,
that's gonna be
picking
a
out,
multiple.
yeah.
What's after this one? Is it the fire one? already?
Fire, it is.
It is. You go straight
Yeah.
to the Gorons, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Straight to the Gorons. You get the red tunic. Well, how many dungeons are there? It's not 8, is it? Is it 8? It's kind of crazy if it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
So you got forest, you got fire. Water is number 4, I feel like. I just
Oh,
remember
okay. He's just
that.
right out here.
Oh, he's the annoying one.
Yes, that's right. You got to shoot him. You got to figure out which
Actually,
one
has
is
its
the
own
real
music.
one. Okay, now he's always the one who spins.
Mhm.
Okay, that one.
There we go.
He's not so bad.
Nah.
Just hang out in the middle and keep shooting.
What a tell.
God, I really got to quit
didn't-
doing this.
He didn't even move spaces.
Right?
I'm gonna
I'm so
just like him.
stupid. You like play poker with him. It's like hot fucking dog. He gets like really good cards.
It spins around.
Hell yeah! Wow, motherfucker!
He's not moving. He's always in front of you.
I know. He's so
Fuck.
I remember that
What a
being more annoying as a
jackass.
kid, but apparently he really does have a very obvious tell. God, wouldn't that be great? The poser all playing poker. Wow! I'm in the fucking money, baby! Yeah! It's like, well, I fucking full. No, come on, play, you pussy! No, I mean,
I have a
damn.
shitty. That's a worse hand.
Like, oh,
Fucking
damn
boy.
it, my hand sucks. Darn, well, what are you gonna do, right, guys?
Yeah, all in.
Yeah, I'm all in. Right. Oh, because I like you guys, I'm going all in. Shit, I got you good, you fucker. Oh, God. This is asshole Poe. Why do you keep inviting him to poker night? Oh, man, he's lonely. His wife said he needs some friends. She said it would be good for him. His therapist recommended it. Fine, I guess he can play. You're fucking right, I can play. Where's my beer, bitch? Oh, God. Look, I promise next time it'll just be us.
An active afterlife.
Right? We've got an eternity to deal with this shit. Oh, God.
Another fucking puzzle.
It's not really a puzzle, it's just rotate the damn room until you get the right door.
Ah.
Oh my god. Freaking hilarious. Whoa! Hot fucking dog! Oh shit. Let's see here. Keep rotating. Well, that was now I'm kind of spent conversation-wise because I waited so long like talk about FF7.
I know, right? I was, and I'm sure, God, you waiting months waiting for me to complete that fucking game.
That's right. What the hell, Max?
Have you started going back for? I know you were going back replaying some parts, but are you doing hard mode at all?
No, not really.
Yeah, I think I need some time.
I think. You know, there's some, like, alternate, like, side quests you can pursue, and I think you can get Bahamut, but...
I was about to say, there's entries, like, in the loading screens of Leviathan and Bahamut, so it's like...
Oh, you didn't get Leviathan?
No, where do you get Leviathan?
Oh, he's just one of the Chadley VR missions.
What? I must not have done one of his little things.
Maybe.
I feel like every time I see Chadley, there's, like, 3 things I completed. It's like, alright, cool.
Yeah. No, Leviathan just showed up, like... I think near the final act.
Okay.
Not for me, but he was there. I don't think I ever even summoned him though.
Yeah, again, I mean, if it's that late.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of the other trick with FF7. Like for instance, with I don't know, like Red 13. Like it's kind of good they didn't make him a playable character because why the hell at that point?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad
can you
that
imagine
he at
having
least...
to like grind him all the way up?
Yeah. There was, like... I don't... What was the fight? Was it Aerith? I feel like it was Aerith and Barrett. Yeah, that there was that huge Gatling gun thing. It was kind of cool that... It was like, alright, you gotta, like, hit its weak points and stuff, but it also felt like some of the last fights felt cheap.
Way too long. Yeah.
I'm not super awesome at the game. You know, I'm still learning. I'm getting better with, like the Sephiroth fight, even though that was like, what the fuck? Why am I fighting Sephiroth?
Yeah.
I wish there were more fights like that where it's just like really about the timing, you know, using Cloud's counter and everything. Like I felt like a boss like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But then it was like the fight before that with the primary colors from the future. Like that felt so cheap. Like it was just like, oh, we're gonna camera zoom over to this.
Yeah, and the fight,
you're beating them.
The fight itself too, it was so on rails that like you didn't really feel like you were fighting it until the end. You know, like they were just sucking up damage until like the next major showpiece could happen.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, these things seem impossible until you're basically killing them. It's like, what? Like, it was like all at once, like, okay, this is probably more story-based fight than actual fight, which it was.
Yeah.
Because these things really seem impossible in the beginning, so I'm sure they're gonna just tell me to move on after. Yep, they're telling me to move on now. But then it would be like you stagger one, you basically get its health down, and that's kind of like the stagger, which is weird. And then it would like, it would zoom out and be like, oh, you're killing the big thing, and then it would zoom back to you, and you're like dying. You're like being flung across the room or something. It's like, well, I couldn't have done anything about that. Like, yeah, that fight definitely seemed like, fuck your skill. Like,
right.
Nice.
Okay. So you can only hit him once per go. Is there a way to tell which one is actually going to jump out at you?
I feel like there was, and I don't know. I think it's just trying to... They're usually...
Oh, shit. God, it's hard to hit. At least I'm not taking any damage.
All I know is that they will... They'll turn back usually in time where you'll see the one that doesn't turn back is the real one. But it's also like, I feel like they're staggered. I don't think they get there at the same time.
Woo! Barely got that one. This is kind of a cool boss fight, though. I like
it. It is. I like his laugh. It's just kind of creepy.
I'm going for broke on this one.
Going all in. Oh.
Oh, nice. Darn. Oh, he actually hit me.
Sometimes it's just an exercise of patience, this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes... Oh, he was running back. Okay.
Nice. Oh, cool. in the actual fight.
What?
That is what I'm supposed to do, correct?
Yeah. It's like the aim is. I feel like this has happened with you before. Like when you were fighting things here, it's like you're doing the Z targeting. That's all you can do.
Huh. Should I shoot him? No.
No, it's this.
Yeah, but what am I doing wrong?
Nothing.
What about block with my shield?
Try. Well, yeah, I can try that.
No?
Try getting off and going back on it.
Huh.
Or getting really close to him, I guess.
Maybe if I back up a little bit more? There we go. He just wants to have a volley.
I guess, yeah.
Oh, shit. Like, no, you gotta play it the right way or I'm not gonna do it.
I don't know, that seemed weird. But at least it's working now. Jeez.
Oh, shit. Huh. Max, I think it's just I'm old and I suck.
Well, it's getting near the end. It's getting really quick. You need to like hit it kind of almost immediately.
Yeah.
Hopefully he starts.
There he goes.
There we go.
Come here.
Let's go to fucking town.
Yeah. Fucking get him. Fucking get him.
Do you have another fairy?
Yes, 2.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna be just
sweet.
fine, fairy wise. It's just gonna be getting him dead.
Yeah.
Woo! Jackpot, baby! Fucking buy some new shoes!
Nice.
No!
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Oh,
now
that sucks.
he
I think you can get him in 2.
Watch out! Listen!
You remember the Nintendo powered Zelda comic?
Uh-huh. Oh, God,
comic.
dude.
It's great.
One of my favorite comics of all time.
And it had an awesome original character. I can't remember.
Oh, that
his name,
eagle dude?
but yeah, the eagle dude. He was
Eagle
cool.
dude.
And there was almost like a weird, like vine kind of thing going on.
Uh-huh. Hey, kid, you did quite well. Looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. Why does he say that?
Shit, if he did only my fan. Yeah, I thought it was Ganon himself. or
Yeah, right? He's
Ganondorf.
just kind of like taunting you like a punk.
Yeah.
What a worthless creation that ghost was. He'll banish the gap between dimensions. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
He was just doing his job.
It's just business for him.
Right?
But I do like that it's almost like Ganondorf's eyes. That's why
Yeah.
he's the first boss. It's just like, okay, I see you. I know you're back. Ooh,
back,
are you
baby.
done with the first row?
Yep. We
I'm
got
gonna
it.
start getting into. Yeah, I like the fire temple a lot too. But what is the third temple? Because I feel like the water temple is 4th.
Let's see here.
Yeah, we'll
Fire,
actually look at the symbols.
Water, shadow.
Oh, it's 6, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So there's
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right. There's
the-
less of these than I thought.
the yellow is spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the purple one. So there's a
Shadow.
purple and a gray one, right?
The-
So purple is shadow.
Yeah, that's the graveyard one with Bongo Bongo.
Yeah, I feel like that one's later. Maybe water temple is 3rd.
Yeah, Water Temple's 3rd.
Because then there's what? There's like shadow. There's the spirit at the end.
Yep.
And there's one in the middle.
I don't think there's one in the middle. I think there's like there's an ice cavern, but that's not a full dungeon.
No. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
We
What
could
the
have
hell?
had something
Okay,
special.
Fire,
Yeah, there's
spirit,
only 6.
shadow, blue, and gold.
Yeah. Because they give you the yellow one like at the Temple of Time when you first become an adult.
Okay,
This
so
is
that doesn't
technically
even.
the second one. There's only 4 left.
So there's only. Oh, so there's like 5 dungeons.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
okay.
Ganon's tower is a bit more involved in this one.
That's true.
Surya will always be your friend, but like a sexless friend who you really only see in a platonic way. Because let's face it, she's fucking 10 years old forever. So,
Speaks like Bob Dole.
right? Bob Dole. Bob Dole's dead, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I thought so.
He's either dead or like 100.
No, he's dead.
He's definitely dead. Hey.
That was the last like just regular boring election, you know? Bob Dole and Bill Clinton.
Right? Where it didn't feel like the end of the world.
Right? Starting with 2000 with Bush and Gore and like that. Do you remember what a big deal that was? Where like for
Holy
a month
shit,
after the election,
chads.
Yeah, a month after the election, we still didn't know who was president. It's like, damn.
That was. I mean, they basically said they. Well, what was it? The Supreme Court gave it to Bush.
Yeah,
they just gave it to Bush, and then they counted up the votes, and they were like, "Whoops,
right.
Sorry."
And then Gore, to keep the peace, just conceded.
Yeah. I mean, this last election really sucked, where the popular vote went to the loser, but we knew that at least pretty quickly.
Yeah,
that was crazy, and that literally Florida would have gone the other way for Gore.
And then like in 2004, the Bush-Kerry race, it probably should have been boring, but it was kind of the first time that you saw the more modern like Republican machine.
The fear machine.
Yeah, like, oh, he was a flip-flopper.
That was the one with the wolves
he hates
at night,
veterans.
wasn't it?
What's that?
That was that. Well, I mean, I was coming of age too when it came to politics.
Yeah,
but I remember that. They're throwing some truth bombs at you here.
Yeah.
That like as far as like I know fear tactics have always been there, but that was like the commercial with the wolves and the whole 9/11 thing. It was like, who are you gonna trust at 3 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, right. Which is hilarious because like I'm gonna trust the veteran, you know, I'm not gonna trust Bush. But that was the genius of the Republican machine, was that they managed to turn John Kerry, who was a career civil servant and a combat veteran, into, you know, this liberal
like
wish-washy
some kind of deserter or something.
Right.
Yeah.
They showed that footage of him tossing back his medal. Never mind, that took a lot of guts for him to do, because that was like a really powerful protest. But yeah. I mean, Kerry wasn't the most exciting candidate, but he clearly loved his country.
No. He was not, but yeah.
It's just that was the first time I remember being cognizant of like, wow, they're really putting this guy's reputation through the ringer, and you know, just to win. And then in 2008, of course, there was the vitriol associated with having the first black candidate, but then it really got nasty when Palin showed up, and it's been going from there and worse ever since.
Yeah, it was kind of bad with Obama and Hillary going at it with each other.
Yeah, that was worse than it needed to be.
It definitely was, but they seemed like they were able to come together. Yeah, you know, and it's like, all right, cool. And then
because at the end of the day, both actually cared about the country, unlike fucking Donald Trump. But
yeah.
Anyway,
you're right. Ever since 2000, it's been a bit of a shit show.
It really has, and I don't just feel like that's, you know, because 2000 on up is really all that I remember politically. But like my dad says that too. He's, you know, my dad's seen a lot of politics, and he goes, you know, I remember the end of the McCarthy era when I was a little kid, and then I remember the big thing for my dad was the Nixon scandal, and
Watergate was huge.
Yeah, what a huge deal that was. And he goes, that's the worst politics ever was until 2004-ish.
But I'm not trying to be alarmist, but I feel like a lot of the stuff Trump has done kind of blows Watergate out of the
oh, absolutely, or it should.
Much worse than Watergate. Like literally traitorous things that are just like, and I don't try to
being
throw that
overlooked,
word around.
You know, and like defended by people who claim to be the only real patriots in our country, right? Like, that's kind of Republicans thing, you know, we love America and apple pie and Jesus. And if you don't vote for Donald J. Trump, you hate Jesus.
It seemed like, as far as like politics and crazy, it's not just us coming of age. Like, it kind of seems like it started with Clinton, with
here's where we'll pause.
Who the fuck? Jesus. He was the Speaker of the House.
McConnell?
Cheated. Who's that?
Oh, sorry. Bill Clinton and what? Oh, Newt Gingrich?
Gingrich.
Yeah.
That's it.
What a troll.
What a mother. Yeah.
Dude,
that really kind of started the whole like, under no circumstance we're not even going to try to work with. You know, that was like the death of compromise.
Right. And you know, like in the grand like list of politicians I'd really like to punch in the face, there's of course Trump, but then there's McConnell and
McConnell is my number 2.
McConnell is like right up there. Newt Gingrich is on the list too, and then what's the motherfucker's name? Help me out here.
What was he?
Lindsey Graham. Lindsey
Graham.
I respected
Lindsey
him.
Graham seems like an opportunist.
Oh, he is. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I respected him when he worked with McCain on some bipartisan policies, but since McCain's death, I feel like he's just gone off the fucking deep end.
Somehow he has Biden's favor. It seems like those two are kind of buddies.
What Lindsey Graham is really, really good at is the whole righteous conservative indignation thing. He's really good at taking the exact thing that his party is doing and flipping that and saying, you Democrats, all you want is power. All you want is to control people. And you know what you're doing, but you won't admit to it. And it's like, oh my God, just fucking shut up, Lindsey. You know what you're saying and why you're saying it. You're fucking lying through your teeth.
Who does that remind me of? Who was basically he's a Republican. I think he caucus as... I think he caucuses as a Republican now, but when Obama first became president, he was basically, some called him the 60th Democrat in order to have a supermajority, but he wasn't. And he went to the Republican convention. Yes, but he's bald.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
I remember he went to the 2008.
It wasn't
2012.
Zane. Who was? Oh, Zane was a Zane was a Democrat who might as well have been a Republican.
I don't know who Zane is. Wait. I'm thinking of Max something. Max, he's the head of the Blue Dog Democrat, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or no, not Zane, Zell. Zell something or other. Or his last name was Zell. Because the only reason I remember his name is Daily Show did a segment about him called Zell Unleashed. Anyways, we're going to have to continue this conversation next time. Lieberman was a... Yeah.
Joe Lieberman. That's it. Joe Lieberman. That's
because he was going to be McCain's running mate before Palin, and they were like, "No way, you cannot put a Democrat on the ticket." And anyway,
and he was Democrat in name only for sure.
Yeah, but still, that would have been.
But...
as much as I really loved Obama and think even beyond the fact that he is the first black president, what a huge deal that is. I just think he was a good civil servant.
No, for sure.
But that being said, if McCain had Lieberman, I would have felt more like, hey, this is actually a civil contest. This is, two competing ideologies, one of which I don't agree with, the other I do. But still, at the same time, the country's probably in good hands either way, because McCain was a smart, responsible man.
Yeah, I feel like he went against his better judgment with
to
that
get
election.
Palin. Yeah, he needed
exactly.
He needed something that was going to match the, landmark of having Obama as the first black candidate. But
yeah, I don't think it was a good move, but
no,
I feel like after that was all over, McCain kind of went back to his.
It turns out Palin was a fucking maniac.
Seriously, talk about opportunists.
Oh God. Well, but opportunists without actually being able to scheme. She couldn't scheme or do anything of that nature. She was just a bad person.
She just tried to claw her way to anything. Yeah. And I say that, and it's just that sounds almost kind of sexist. So it's no, for her, it's totally true.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just politics. She'd get on TV.
Yeah. Clearly you do not have a problem with women in power by your voting record. But anyways, Max, next time on Play the Hits, we're going to climb this goddamn mountain and we're going to save... what's his name? Darunia? We're gonna remember his name, and then we're gonna save him. We'll see you then.
See you then.